Hey guys, and welcome back to G's Autos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, I finally caught up with the Duck and Damo to see what's been happening with the Datsun 1200 Ute swap. So, a bit of work has been done on the diff in regards to setting up the rear brakes, plus we're also going to take a look at the front end in regards to suspension, axles, brakes and all that kind of bizzo. Anyway guys, there's also one big change happening with the car. And I will reveal in the video what it is, but I can't reveal the whole thing. But we will get to that in the next few episodes. Anyway, guys, enough out of me. I hope you like the update. Sorry it's taken so long, and hopefully this will answer some of your questions. I appreciate the questions that have been coming through in the comments, and I'll endeavour to get some answers back to you guys, either through the comments or through the video updates. Anyway, enough out of me. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, so here we have the diff. Now, from the last time you saw it, as you can see, a little bit more work has been done. Alright, so this here is the original Datsun 1200 Ute diff. That is stock standard with the stock standard axles in it. Now, the hubs are off a Bluebird, a 1982 Bluebird diff. This is the Bluebird diff here. So the hubs press straight on, no machining was required. The disc is Bluebird. The calipers are Bluebird. Now, flexi line has been put on, so it's easy just to undo that, releases it from the carrier, change your brake pads. Now, these brackets here are originally from the Bluebird diff. They're going to be welded on, so that way the flex line will sit there as so. Now, new hard lines are being made up at the moment. That's all been measured up and they're currently being made, so they should be available next week. Now, in regards to the handbrake assembly, this original cable, that's all the original Datsun 1200 diff. Now on the inside you've got some brake pads on the inside of the disc, and obviously that is your handbrake. So they apparently, you basically can't buy them anymore, so you need to get the original shoes and have them rebonded, and that's what's been done, and to do that is not a cheap exercise to say the least. Now the the drive shaft hasn't been sorted yet. That's most likely going to come out of a Datsun sedan, and there will be some changes required to make that fit. So all this is going to get pulled apart and cleaned. Forgot to mention the splash guards, that's off the Bluebird as well. So basically, as you see it, everything is just mocked up for now. Everything will get stripped down off it. The splash guards, the calipers, the brackets, the diff itself, all that needs to be cleaned, needs to be painted, and obviously the lines need to go on, and the brackets need to get welded on. So well, I shouldn't say a little bit of work, there's a fair bit of work that's got to go into that yet. At the moment, this has all been about just mocking it all up and making sure everything fits, lines up, and works as it should. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over and take a look at all the front end suspension and steering and brakes. So let's do that now. Alright guys, so here we have all of the suspension, steering, calipers, sway bar, cross member, gearbox mount. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's start with the front suspension. This is going to test my memory, so a few different pieces here used. So let's see how we go. So we've got the coilover there. Now the coilover is actually welded into the axle assembly. Okay. Now what you'll see on the other side, we'll come over to this side. This one's already bracketed up. That's your bracket there to hold your caliper. Okay. Now you can just buy these off eBay. Apparently it's not a hard thing to source. Now these front calipers are actually off a Sylvia. Okay, so they will have a much larger disc on the front end and a much larger caliper. So as you can see from the diff, all the rear brakes have been upgraded and the front end brakes have been upgraded as well, because you will going to have that extra power running through the car. So all your steering parts and all your joints, they are standard Datsun 1200 Ute. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. Okay. Now, the sway bar, that is standard Datsun 1200 Ute. And as we've mentioned before, the cross member, that's a custom job, bought as a kit. And what came with that is also the gearbox support bracket. Now, all this is like exactly the same as the diff. Will need to be everything stripped down, cleaned, painted before it all goes in. So all that is going to be the next step, and coming up soon will be the test fit of the engine going in, just to see how everything sits. And then once they're happy with that, a test fit of all the steering and suspension will happen as well. So there's a fair bit of work coming up on the build, so I'll keep you guys up to date with what's actually happening. And yeah, so the boys, as I said, the boys have been absolutely flat out with a lot of work on their plate. So they've had a bit of spare time and getting stuck into the Datto again. Now, there has been a possible change of colour. I'm not going to reveal yet what that colour is. But this is how it's sitting at the moment, same as what we saw last time. There's some work getting done at the moment on the side of the car, just with these lines. The Duck wasn't quite happy with them, so he's just sharpening those up. And so yeah, the car isn't going to be the same colour. As I said, there has been a change, so it's a pretty cool colour, to say the least. It's going to look pretty good. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on the progress on the body and everything else as we move along. Alright guys, appreciate you watching. If you want to see more of this build, guys, just hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep you up to date with what's happening. Thanks guys, see ya.